What's up? It's me, Kaniki, here on Chick with Opinions. Let's go ahead and take care of business. Subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. Listen, I wanted to kick off Women's History Month talking about women in real estate. I'm here with briboiling. She is a realtor here in the Raleigh Triangle area doing her thing in real estate. And so I wanted to just touch on how real estate has helped her in her life and just discuss the local business of real estate. Let's first give homage. The first documented woman to join the National Association of Realtors was Corrine Simpson in Seattle, Washington. And the thing about women in real estate, as we all know, that real estate can actually make generational wealth in families. So for a long time, women could not even own land. The only time you saw a woman owning land is when her husband had passed away, or when she was the only heir and her father had left her some real estate. And so it's really important that women were allowed to finally join the National Association of Realtors. So I wanted to speak with Bree because she owns Boylan Realty, and she can speak to what real estate has done in her life and how the local economy is in real estate. So tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into real estate.
First of all, thank you, Kaniki, for inviting me on your platform to speak and to kick off Women's History Month. It is totally an honor. Thank you so much.
You. I appreciate that. It's an honor.
So a little bit about me. I'm Bree. I'm a realtor, broker, and owner of a real estate firm here in Raleigh, North Carolina. As Kaniki said, I've been in the game for a while now, and pretty much what she said is key. Real estate has changed my life. Becoming a realtor has changed my life. Over time, I've just been able to help others purchase real estate, learn the real estate game, and ultimately realize that no matter who we speak of, from the sports arena to politics, most money is invested in real estate.
Absolutely, absolutely. When you think of the multimillionaires here in the United States and all around the world, really, when you think of those individuals, a lot of them have a finger in real estate. Real estate, it's not going anywhere. All the land that's going to be made here on this earth is here. That's one of the things that we say. You're not making new land. So the selling and the buying of real estate is going to be with us throughout the end of time. And so I want you to speak on how, just go a little bit more as far as how real estate can actually, home ownership can actually change an individual's life as far as monetarily.
Think about it. Most households have debt, right? And debt is okay. Healthy debt is always okay. But when I see someone who is able to sell a home and make more than they earn in a year in wages and equally pay off debt and then rinse and repeat and buy a new home, it's astounding to see that this one thing they purchased, is able to create generational wealth for them.
Yeah.
I often tell people, mainly first-time home buyers who have a hard time grasping the home buying concept, when they see investors or homes, million-dollar homes, most people started right what we're discussing.
Yeah.
Right? They bought the first townhome, rented it out or renovated it, then flipped it, and bought the second home, then the third, and so on and so on. And that's how you create generational wealth.
Yeah. I come in contact with a lot of new home owners and wanting to purchase real estate. And it's not about necessarily, especially your first purchase, getting that dream home. Please note, and correct me if I'm wrong, you are going to pay mortgage. The difference is you're either going to pay your mortgage or you're going to pay someone else's. What do you think?
That's kind of my mission now. I had to find I always knew my mission in real estate, but when you come into the real estate room, you're challenged by other personalities and what other people who are successful are doing. Mm-hmm. And so you have to determine what does your success look like.
Exactly.
Right? And so my success is determined by the people I help.
Okay.
You understand? Like
Yes.
what we're talking about culturally, demographically.
Mm-hmm.
And so that comes with education. And what you're saying is helping a renter understand that, you know, a lot of renters stay on, in the younger generation mostly, stay on the fence about buying because exactly what you said. My first home has to be 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3,000 square feet, whatever. Instead of understanding the power of investing, you know, getting out of rent.
Exactly.
Now paying yourself.
Exactly.
Not someone else. Not a corporate company who has billions of dollars and rents, you know, 100 units.
Yes.
Not a person who has made that decision and now owns 10 homes and you're one of their people who pay their mortgage.
Right.
You know, learning the power of investing in self.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I try to do. I think once people change their mentality about the goal is to get out of paying somebody else's mortgage or rent, whatever you're doing, and then now understanding you're owning something.
And that's a really good point. I think a lot of times first-time homeowners need to get out of the way of themselves. Leave it to a professional to explain the whole institution of real estate and guide you through the process. I think a lot of times it's that failure to launch, that failure to really know what's going on and not having that confidence to actually jump into the game. Going into real estate is a really big first step because yes, you can do real estate part-time, but in order to see the return on your investment, I really think it has to be a full-time investment. And so tell us how you got started and what made you jump out on faith and do that.
It was exactly faith when I got started, Kaniki. I was working, I had the dream corporate job, right?
Okay.
Was in a place in life where I was comfortable and things were going well. Although I didn't like my corporate job, it paid the bills and it was financially safe. And so I had my license for about a year. I wasn't actively, because I'm like you said, I'm either all in with something or all out. I just don't do halfway. And I got laid off. And so my company laid us off. It was a really nice company, gave us a severance package.
Okay.
They told us they'd help us find a new job. But the entrepreneur in me kept saying, this is not what you want to do.
Right.
So I had a talk with God, of course, right?
Take it to God.
Take it to God. You got to take it to him first. And I asked him, and he said, well, my child, if this is what you want to do, do it. The worst come to worst, you'll get another job. But put your best foot forward and see what happens.
Right.
And so I did. I went all in full time. I counted those savings coins.
Okay. Have a plan.
You got to have a plan. And so that's one key thing that I try to mentor when I have newer agents come in. I remember for 3 months, I didn't make any money. Okay. You know, and I still had to pay bills. My child still had to eat. So, you know, don't come into the game saying I'm gonna quit my job, I'm gonna start real estate. It does not work like that. Okay. You know, we dictate how much money we make. Right. I think a lot of people's misconception is you become a real estate agent and then you become rich. No. You have to grind. You determine whether you make $50,000 a year or $200,000. You are the determining factor. That your grind, your get up and go, you have to be a self-starter. Right. Yeah. So
that's good to know because a lot of people out there do think they see the TV shows and, you know, flipping houses and all of these things. And they see that, you know, this individual made $20,000, $60,000 with one flipped house. What you're saying is you don't see the work that they put in to get that return on their investment. So like Bree said, have a plan. You don't want to give up a job that, you know, you're working, that's paying the bills with no plan and with no exit strategy should things not work out for you.
Correct. And I mean, like I said, I remember when I first got started, I easily spent $5,000 without breathing. Just on licensing, you know, getting, you know, the things I needed to have in place to be successful, you know, because you're gonna have someone mentor you and say you need to do this and this, and if you want to be successful, you're gonna listen, right? Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, I have brand, I ain't had a closing yet, but I was determined. You know, I still had to get up and grind no matter what. And I kept my head down, and I remember, I sold myself my first home.
Nice. Make yourself your first sale or your first.
Correct.
Yes, I like that.
And
excellent.
So I would go on that year to help other people close, and my home wasn't ready until, because I worked in construction.
Okay.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be ready to the end of the year. So I had to go and help others while I was helping myself. And
Nice.
it was just something I'll never forget, that by coming into this industry, I became a homeowner.
Nice. Starting that generational wealth.
Yes. And then I began to earn an income that I had never seen before. So
listen, sometimes what I have found is that real estate, as is a lot of industries in America, is kind of that good old boys network, and just trying to break in to that network and make yourself known and have a presence is difficult. So one of the things that I feel, because Bree has helped me out and she's mentored me as far as with her realty firm, and just giving me some insight as to how to go about things. And what I want to say is find a mentor. A lot of the times we go into these enterprises not knowing what to do. And so we learn by trial and error. And that's a way to do it. Don't get me wrong. If you can't find anyone, then move forward. But try to find someone who's going to mentor you through the process. And that way, some of the mistakes that person made, you don't have to make. What do you think about that?
So dead on. God, it's like you're reading my mind. Mentorship, when I came in, I found people that I identify with.
Okay.
That looked like me.
Okay.
That were successful.
Absolutely.
And I gave them a phone call. Would you be willing to help? Now, you got to be willing to give some sweat equity. If you don't, it's either you have sweat equity or a lot of money. Some point you may want to have both, but if you don't have the money, can you invest your time?
Yeah.
And I showed the mentors that I, gleaned from, hey, if you need me, I'm here to help. Nice. In exchange for that, would you be willing to share the knowledge?
Right. So what were some of the things that you did in exchange for the knowledge?
If they needed a showing to show home,
okay,
then I would show up. Of course, as I built that sweat equity, they still brought value. Maybe they would pay me for my time. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that kept some money coming in.
Turn something you like to do into a profitable business.
And at the same time, I got to get out there, look at homes. I remember one of my mentors having me go and show $1 million home. Talk about dreaming. Yes. I'm like, yes. I could be here. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now I'm selling a house that's over $800,000.
Yes.
Right?
Excellent.
So I got to be where he was. I got to be around somebody who was doing well. And because I was willing to do some things, even before they offered money, if I called and I needed a question answered to get my buyer or seller to the next step, they were willing to guide me.
Yes.
In exchange for that commitment to them. So
yes.
Mentorship is the number one thing to this day. The mentors that I started with, I still can call them right now, and get answers, and we meet for lunch and catch up. I remember one of my mentors recently, I took her to lunch, and she's been in the game for 7-8 years, and she said, every time we eat lunch, you bring gems. I was honored.
The mentee being the mentor. All right, grasshopper.
That's right. Show up. Show up.
I love
you
it.
Love something.
Yeah.
Bring value.
Okay.
People want to see what's different. Always be willing to bring value.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. Bring value. Well, you mentioned that get rich quick as a common misconception. Are there others that you want to tell the audience?
Whew. So, get rich quick. This is a grind season, okay? Always know, be the first to show up, because guess what? Somebody else will show up before you. Second, in our culture, when you start to make large sums of money that you've never seen before, you need to learn how to manage money, because just like there are great days, they're not so great days, right? I have seen agents have to leave the industry because we had a couple of good years, and they want to change their life, and they started to buy things that weren't of value. And I'll name a few because it really bothers me. Don't become the Gucci person. Don't go buy the luxury vehicle that costs more to maintain than your home. Be very conscious about how you spend your money.
Absolutely. And just touching on that subject for just a second, there's nothing wrong with having designer. And that is not what she's saying.
Correct.
But make sure you purchase with thoughtfulness. You don't want to spend your last on head to toe Gucci, because there are going to be some hard times. You're not going to always be in the market of surplus. So you want to have a savings. Oprah said it a long time ago. You want to have about 6 months of savings in the bank.
That's right.
And then when those hard times come, you won't have to get out of the business.
That's right.
So one of the misconceptions is that it's always going to be good. And it's just not, because as every business knows that you're going to have your valleys as well as your high points.
Correct. And that's exactly what I'm saying. I love nice things.
Yes.
I love Tori.
We own too.
But you have to have your priorities and understand that you reward yourself for your hard work, not just because you have the finances there. Right. You're a business.
Yes.
And so you have to operate it as a business. When I came in, I was self-employed. I'm now a business. And so you have to understand there's a difference.
Hold on just a second. Audience, did you catch that? She is now a business. Boiling Realty. Go ahead, Bree.
Yeah, so, we have to think like our targets and our higher level businesses. If you want to be like a business, you have to operate like
absolutely.
One. So revenue, profit, and losses, every business has, like you said, peaks and valleys. And so you have to be prepared for one, because you get into business for longevity, right?
Yes.
Not short term. And so there are ways to make sure you do that.
Absolutely. Words of wisdom. With that being said, what would you tell someone who's trying to get into the business of real estate or even owning an investment property?
I would say, one, let's touch on the real estate side. If you want to get into real estate, why?
Okay.
What is your why? Because if it's just to make money, you're not going to last. It's not going to happen. That's very short-lived. You have to have a mission, a purpose of what it is. Why do you want to do it? Are you someone who loves to help first-time home buyers? What is it that you want to get at? Are you an investor who wants to, ultimately own multiple units and rent? But you got to know your why. Mm-hmm. Establish your why. And then find you a mentor. Sit down and talk to someone who's been in the game and ask them to tell you the good, bad, and the ugly.
You gotta do your research. Do your research. Know the whys. Know why you're getting into it, and that way you can actually sit down and formulate a plan of action.
Correct. And the last one you already hit on. Have a savings. Have a goal. If you're in a corporate career field and you want to come in full time, if you're married or you're single, have a plan. Talk to your husband or wife and say, this is my goal. How can we get there? Have those reserves. So when you come in, you have a level of confidence. Finances are not everything, but they fix a lot of problems, right?
Yes, they do. Yeah.
So if you're financially sound, then you can focus on building your business.
Nice. Yes. And you can move on through. So thank you so much, Bree. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to just share some knowledge about real estate. I just wanted to say this is Women's History Month, and Corrine Simpson out of Seattle, Washington was the very first woman to join the National Association of Realtors. And because she joined, people like Bree are now able to build generational wealth in real estate. I'm Kaniki, a chick with opinions. Tune in next week. We're going to be talking about women in hair care. It's not an attitude. It's a movement. Thanks for joining me.